You know how in Formula One, there's always something simmering beneath the surface? Not just racing. I'm talking about buckle up, because what we're seeing right now between McLaren and Red Bull isn't just competition anymore. It's full-on Cold War vibes. And the latest chapter? It's got everything. Sharp sarcasm, backhanded accusations, and now an official move that might just change how F1 teams play dirty behind the scenes. So here's the deal. All of this started brewing in the paddock. Quietly at first, just whispers. Rumors began circulating that Red Bull had doubts about McLaren's tire cooling system. Nothing official, nothing proven. Just that sneaky kind of insinuation that spreads like wildfire. The claim? That McLaren might be injecting water into the tires to give themselves a thermal advantage. Now, there's no evidence of this, not yet anyway, but just the suggestion was enough to raise eyebrows. But here's where it gets spicy. Red Bull, the team tossing out this shady little theory, has now found itself on the defensive. Because McLaren didn't just deny it, they clapped back, hard. Zak Brown, McLaren's CEO, not only shot the rumor down, he turned it into a joke. He literally showed up at the Miami Grand Prix sipping from a water bottle labeled Tear Water, a straight-up troll move, mocking the entire idea. But don't think this was just a meme-worthy moment. No, Brown came with receipts and a plan. He's not just playing the media game. He's trying to change the rules of engagement. His message was loud and clear. No more passive-aggressive paddock politics. If you're going to accuse a team of something, you better put it in writing, provide hard evidence, and get this, put your money where your mouth is. Literally. According to Brown, any protest from now on should come with three things: an official written complaint, concrete proof, and a deposit, up to $50,000. That's not pocket change. And if the protest doesn't hold up, that money counts against your budget cap. That's right. Teams could actually hurt their own championship hopes if they throw around false accusations. And guess who's backing this idea? The FIA. Yep. Mohammed Ben Sulayem, the FIA president, is all in. His stance is simple. Enough with the rumors. If you're going to throw shade, you better be ready to take the heat. Make a claim, prove it. Can't prove it? Pay the price. This proposal hit the paddock like a bombshell. Because it doesn't just push for accountability, it directly threatens the kind of behind-the-scenes tactics that some teams like Red Bull have leaned on. Now Red Bull is the one in the hot seat. Zak Brown essentially turned the tables and asked, if you're so confident McLaren's cheating, then why not file the protest officially? Why not put up the $50K and own the accusation? It's a bold move, and it's got everyone watching. Because this might be the first real attempt to force teams out of the shadows and into the open when it comes to these kinds of power plays. But that's just one front in Red Bull's growing list of problems. Let's talk about Sergio Perez. The rumors of Perez making a return to F1, possibly with Cadillac or even Alpine, are more than just juicy gossip. They highlight a deeper issue. Red Bull might have miscalculated big time by showing him the door. Think about it. Perez isn't just some mid-pack driver. He's the only one in the last few years who's managed to win races and land consistent podiums in a car that's very clearly been tailored to fit Max Verstappen like a glove. Red Bull's whole logic seems to have been, if Perez isn't keeping up, the problem must be him. So now there's talk of replacing him with Liam Lawson, a talented rookie, no doubt, but one who has never driven under the kind of pressure Perez has, and certainly not in a car as unforgiving as Red Bull's. And here's the thing. It's not just about talent. It's about fit. The second Red Bull seat has been a graveyard for drivers. Pierre Gasly, Alex Albon, they all struggled. Why? Because the car isn't built for them. It's built for Max. That means aggressive front-end grip, a tricky rear, and a braking style that only Verstappen really thrives with. Swapping drivers doesn't fix that. Red Bull seems stuck in a loop. Keep the car as is and keep blaming the second driver when it doesn't work. But maybe, just maybe, the problem isn't the guy behind the wheel. Maybe it's the philosophy inside the factory. Now Cadillac is eyeing Perez as a potential lead driver for their F1 project. Why? Because he brings more than just lap time. He's experienced, technically sharp, respected in the paddock, and, let's be honest, a marketing goldmine, especially for an American team trying to plant roots. Alpine, for all its internal chaos, also knows Perez's value. He's a known quantity. You can build around a guy like that. Meanwhile, Red Bull might be about to hand him off and roll the dice on someone who's barely tested under pressure. If that backfires, it'll be remembered as one of the biggest unforced errors in recent paddock history. And speaking of mistakes, let's talk about Ferrari. Or more specifically, the frustration of one typical post-race critique from Hamilton turned out to be something far more serious. A warning shot, a clear message to his new team. Get it together, or this relationship is going to unravel fast. Hamilton isn't just annoyed about one bad race. He's exposing a pattern, a strategic black hole that's plagued Ferrari for years. And in Miami, it reached a boiling point. During the race, the radio messages were brutal, sarcasm dripping from every word. "This isn't teamwork," he said. "Go have a tea break," he added, as if to say, "Are you even watching the same race I'm in?" This wasn't just driver frustration. It was a man realizing he might have walked into the same chaos that frustrated champions like Vettel and Alonso before him. The pit wall's indecision, the late calls, the vague messages, it all feels like déjà vu. And Hamilton isn't the kind of driver who stays quiet when things go sideways. In Miami, they waited too long to tell Lewis he could pass Leclerc, and by the time they gave the green light, it was too late. His tires were cooked, and any shot at catching the car ahead was gone. Not only that, he almost lost a position himself. It was like watching a world-class athlete get tripped up by his own support crew. And let's not forget, this is Ferrari, a team with the resources and the talent to fight at the front. But time and time again, it feels like they're trying to complete a 5,000-piece puzzle without knowing what the picture is supposed to be. And Hamilton? He's had enough of it. Now, there were high hopes that Ferrari's new upgrade package for Imola would be the spark to turn things around. But based on what we're hearing from insiders, fans might want to temper those expectations. The word is that the changes are minimal. We're not talking about a breakthrough, more like a patch. Think of it this way. The SF25 might stop being a three-legged turtle, but it's still going to be a turtle, just one wearing running shoes. The upgrades focus on rear stability and faster corner response in medium-speed turns, which helps. But it's not enough to suddenly make this a race-winning car. Even more important, Ferrari knows the problem isn't just the car. It's the way they make decisions in the heat of battle. So they're now reportedly working on a total overhaul of their strategic process. Better communication, clearer roles, maybe even new faces on the pit wall. Because the truth is, if they don't fix that side of things, no amount of aerodynamic upgrades is going to save them. And here's the bottom line. Between McLaren's chess moves, Red Bull's mounting pressure, Perez's potential return, and Hamilton throwing down the gauntlet at Ferrari, Formula One right now isn't just about who's fastest. It's about who can survive the politics, the mind games, and the chaos long enough to build something that actually works. The race? That's just the surface. The real battle? It's happening in the paddock.